wondered why anyone would stop hosting their homes on Airbnb? It's been a successful platform for many years. But can we now start to see a decline in active hosts listing their rentals on Airbnb? Or why would they leave all the money that could be made from Airbnb and just quit? Let's not get caught up in the hype, so in this video we'll be sharing 10 things you must watch out for if you don't want to stop hosting your rentals on Airbnb. But if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and stay notified every time we drop a new video. Now here are 10 areas in which you must be aware of. Number 1. Emergency repairs. We start with the reason in the host's control. Though mostly temporary, repairs to Airbnb homes can take a lot of time and will surely affect your booking calendar, forcing you to stop hosting as repairs are going on. It's a wise move because it is better to sacrifice those few days, weeks, or even months making repairs than to strain the home over that period. In the long run, the house deteriorates and so does the number of bookings and reviews. It will also affect your pricing if you don't repair it, as nobody will pay the normal price for a deteriorating rental. So this is one of the major reasons people stop hosting temporarily to get repairs done. Number 2. Serious personal illness. Second on our list is another major reason that stems from the host. As a host, if you have a serious illness, be it contagious or life-threatening, it is safer for you to stop accepting bookings if you have no one to host and manage in your place. Airbnb is a lucrative niche, but it requires a lot of time and commitment. If you can't afford to be stressed or if it's contagious, for the safety of you and your guests, it's best that you suspend hosting till you're fully recuperated. Giving guests illnesses to take home won't leave you a good review now, would it? Number 3. Too many low reviews. Speaking of reviews, another reason why people stop hosting is the rate of bad reviews they get. Getting bad reviews can be very discouraging for Airbnb hosts. Now, this might not be enough to discourage you and make you quit, but it has made plenty of others give up. For those who have strong mental fortitude, even if you don't get discouraged by the low reviews, when you have so many low reviews and you find yourself in the bottom 1% of Airbnb reviews, your host account might just be closed. You then lose the power to host your home or any other space on Airbnb. Number 4. Being unable to pay the mortgage. If you're renting a space to host on Airbnb, this is something you should pay attention to. Most people have to quit Airbnb and run at a loss because they weren't able to make enough money to pay their mortgage for the hosting home. Venturing into Airbnb, you have to be ready to make enough to offset the mortgage and still make profit for whatever time frame you leased for. A month, 6 months, a year, or 2? Make sure to factor in your mortgage or you'll end up paying for it using your money and running at a loss. Number 5. Taking too long to break even. This next point goes together with the previous one. A major reason people stop hosting is not being able to break even and pay their mortgage. Before venturing into Airbnb, you as a host must calculate how long it will take you to break even and start making profits. You use your capital to lease, furnish, and make repairs. You have to know how long it will be before you regain what you've spent. If you can't break even, you'll just have to either quit or run at a loss. You could start from pricing to know how long it will be. Using a website called AirDNA, you can get an estimate of how long it would take and if your lease period will allow for profits. Number 6. Limiting hosting to an area-based home. Your prices depend on the particular area and season you are in. If you have no clue what the price and occupancy rates in your zip code or your area are, then you cannot gauge how much profit you could be making. The more your area of residence allows for good prices, the quicker you get to break even and make profits. If you don't familiarize yourself with other price rates in various neighboring areas, you might as well run at a loss or not make as much as you should during certain seasons. In the long run, it all comes crashing down when you limit your hosting to one particular area forever and always. Number 7. Hosting in an overcrowded area. Still relating to the area, if you start hosting on Airbnb and you start with your home in a saturated area, you might likely be headed to a quick end as most people would not go for newbies when there are hosts with loads of good reviews. The marketplace place might not be accepting and you end up getting little or no bookings at all. It's not only starters who have issues in such areas, experienced hosts also do as well. In a highly crowded area, the number of bookings you get in a day or a week can be overwhelming and lead to a lot of cancellations, which is another reason why most people quit. To help with this, get yourself a channel manager so you can plan your schedules and calendar to accommodate most of the bookings you possibly can. If your schedule isn't in order, you might as well end up flustered and have no choice but to cancel bookings and get bad reviews. Not to mention, no bookings and too many cancellations can both result in your hosting account being blocked. Number 8. Guests that violate events and party policy. Now, all the previous reasons were based on the hosts. Now let's talk about the reasons based on the guests. Airbnb has an event and party policy. Guests must comply with them. They get financially fined if such a policy is broken. But if the event was, let's say, a rave, and some parts of your housing units are destroyed by the guests or whoever took part in the event, you'll have to spend a ton of money on repairs. I'd advise that for furnishing your homes, do not spend too much. If the unit gets damaged by a guest, it will still require a lot to repair. Most people stop hosting because guests damage their units, and with their financial status, they can't afford repairs and replacements. Number 9. Guests that overstay and don't pay. Hosting guests who decide to overstay and do not pay for the overtime can be frustrating. Aside from being frustrated, they actually waste your time, as well as your money, because they distort your calendars. Having such guests can force you to stop hosting, both temporarily and permanently, in the sense that you'll have to stop accepting bookings till you can get them to leave after losing time and money. If your schedule is tight and important for your financial balance, the guests overstaying can stall your journey, even leading to a crash. Number 10. No background checks on guests. As a host, before people book your home for rent, they run a background check on you. It's also very important for you as a host to do the same. It not only helps you to give the best experience to guests and get good reviews, but it helps you know how responsible the guest you are letting into your home is. Knowing this assures you that the guest might not cause any unnecessary damage or fuss for the time he or she is staying. Accepting a booking without running any background on who the guests are or what they're like and why they're booking can be dangerous to your hosting journey, your reviews, and even your life. A lot of people have stopped hosting due to trauma from hosting other guests. Hosting dangerous, sick, or allergic individuals without knowing who you're hosting can be dangerous. Imagine hosting someone allergic to fur of any kind, and your home is furnished with fur material, or someone who's sick with a contagious illness. It can be very dangerous for both the guests and you as the host. In the first case, the allergy might result in a fatal situation, putting you through a lot of stress and issues. For the second, it would be harmful to you as you might get infected and have to quit hosting until you have finally recovered. That is, if you can fully recover. Always do your background checks. It's not intruding on privacy. It's you being cautious and safe. If you still have confidence in Airbnb and want to learn how to successfully run an Airbnb business from scratch, watch this next video where I'll tell you exactly what needs to be done. So click on the video on the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.